this weekend. Okay, so my very dear friend, Karen DePeche, she is a 4-time Emmy-winning makeup artist on The View. Won 4 Emmys for doing makeup, and she invited me to be a part of a beauty panel. And I love this because she is the first Haitian American to win an Emmy for makeup. Karen DePeche. And so she has this function every year. She calls it the Glow and Grace, a pre-Mother's Day glam and wellness affair. So she was like, you know, I've never been invited, and she called me. She said, you're gonna be on the panel. Now, I could have sworn I heard her say that, and I could have sworn I heard her say, and we're gonna honor you with an award because you're so amazing. That's what I thought I heard. She did say we're gonna talk beauty and fashion. She said it's gonna be fun and inspirational for all of the young ladies that are there. So, but what I found out when I got there, I was not part of the panel. I was not honored. I was the moderator of the whole event. Whole different thing. So somebody greeted me to tell me what I would be doing, and she said, do you want to do the intro or should I? And I said, no, you do my intro, and then you can bring out my award. Now, I didn't know why she was looking at me crazy when I said that. So the show starts, and Karen DePeche did my intro, and I came out with my speech. I had my speech already, and I knew I was gonna be part of the panel, so I had answers for whatever she was gonna ask me, and I sat down gingerly on the panel because I know I'd have to jump up when they said, we want to present this award. So I'm sitting there waiting for them to call my name so I could stand up and say, you know, I want to thank my Lord and my Savior, Jesus. Thank you to the fashion industry. And then Karen was like, are you gonna come do the intro and bring out, and she said, you gonna bring out the next guest? I said, what intro? I said, I'm on the panel. When y'all gonna ask me a question and give me my award? So as I'm sitting there and everybody else is answering questions, Karen is just kind of improv-ing. And one of the organizers motioned for me to come to the edge of the stage. So I got to get up, and I'm walking, and I said, yes. And everybody is looking at me as I'm bending down. And she said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm waiting for my award. And I'm waving. And then she whispered, you don't have an award. You're moderating, so you need to start talking. And I said, you ain't gonna give me no award or nothing. And I said, I'm moderating. And so I said, Karen told me I was on the panel, and I thought she said I was getting a special honor. And she said, no, you honoring the special guest that come up. So when it sank in, I said, okay, well, give me my questions. She said, didn't Karen tell you your questions? And I said, no, because I thought I was gonna be on the panel. Now, here's the thing, this is where you gotta learn how to pivot. You gotta know how to pivot and pivot quickly. And because I love all things hair and fashion, I was able to do it, because I'm so curious about the industry. So I became the moderator, and Karen sat down, and she was part of the panel. And I just pretended like I got the award in my mind when I was standing there. But one of the things that I loved about the event was it was so many young ladies there who wanted to be in the business. And the panelists gave them a message. They were hair and makeup. Yancey Edwards, who was head of makeup for Survival of the Thickest and Harlem. Head of hair, and Karen, and they told the young ladies, stop comparing yourself to folks on the internet. Because it affects your self-esteem, it gives you a false sense of perfection. And I even chimed in, because I had to say something. And I told them I agree. I said, people always say that they want to be like me when I wear my long hair. I want hair like yours. You look so pretty. And I tell them, but if you want to be like me, you got to have 3 people follow you around. I have Theo, who follows me around, combing my hair every 30 seconds. I have Rodney John, who's patting and putting lip gloss on my face all the time. I have Willie Sinclair III, the Milwaukee Sinclairs. He's buttoning up everything and helping me with my shoes. So it's all smoke and mirrors is what it is. And I love that we were able to impart that. It was so inspirational that day. And Karen, I want to thank you for having me moderate the panel. Thank you. I had so much fun. And I actually would like to come back next year and be part of the panel. And I don't mind being honored if you do want to do that. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate that, Karen DePeche.